According to the data provided by the Ministry of Labour and Social Affairs of the Republic of Armenia, as of July 1, 2022, 194,740 persons with disabilities live in Armenia. Most of these people are isolated from the community and deprived of the right to make personal and individual choices. According to various surveys conducted by Agat Rights Defense Center for Women with Disabilities NGO, persons with disabilities are subjected to psychological, economic, physical, and sexual abuse, with the vast majority of these persons being women and girls with disabilities. Towards Inclusive Armenia project was launched at the end of 2021 in order to ensure non-discrimination against persons with disabilities, protect their rights, as well as identify and provide opportunities they could enjoy. The project was implemented by Agat NGO on behalf of the Coalition for Inclusive Legal Reforms, with a combined effort to fight for the rights of persons with disabilities in various institutions. Towards Inclusive Armenia project was aimed at the institutional development of the Coalition for Inclusive Legal Reforms, as well as capacity building among various groups of persons with disabilities throughout Armenia. To this end, during the project, we held over 77 workshops in the regions of the Republic of Armenia, with more than 2,000 beneficiaries participating in them, namely persons with disabilities, their family members, as well as field specialists, lawyers, special educators, psychologists, service providers to persons with disabilities. We have sensitized them on the ways of appropriate interactions and work with persons with disabilities. Due to the efforts of the coalition members, the legislature adopted the law on the rights of persons with disabilities in May 2021, and that was just the first step. There was still a lot to be done to ensure that the bylaws and legal regulations following the adoption of the law were both inclusive and accessible for persons with disabilities and adhering to the rights-based approach. In addition, Towards Inclusive Armenia project manager highlights cases when the labor rights of persons with disabilities were restored in court after the adoption of the law. After the adoption of the law, we were also able to take cases to court, and after 3 cases were restored the right to work for a person with a disability who had been fired because of a disability. During our litigations, we were able to cooperate with many lawyers and were able to restore the capable status of a person with an intellectual disability. The coordinator of the coalition emphasized the draft laws aimed at ensuring full participation of persons with disabilities also in sports. When speaking about draft legal acts, I would like to especially focus on 2 draft laws I prioritize. One was the sports-related draft amendment to the law on sport, and the draft law on children's sports, where we were proposing, to the extent possible, to align professional and mainstream sports to those for persons with disabilities, also proposing the same legal status for the Republic of Armenia Olympic Committee and the Armenian Paralympic Committee, because these 2 committees are actually equal and important bodies. The coalition also produced an alternative report on the implementation of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. This provides an opportunity for persons with disabilities and their representative organizations to inform the committee about the extent to which the state has fulfilled its obligations. Meetings with high-ranking officials and community leaders, advocacy, legal advice. The members of the coalition made the lives of persons with disabilities easier by prioritizing advocacy themselves. There were meetings with the heads of administrative districts, interactions with persons with disabilities, because there was little information about the rights of persons with disabilities. They even did not have any information on assistive devices provided by the state. Therefore, these visits were of great importance for the advocacy process. 360 articles, 7 videos on the provisions of the UN Convention on Persons with Disabilities, awareness-raising materials, 50 podcasts with the participation of persons with disabilities were published within the framework of Towards Inclusive Armenia project, so that the society would be better informed on what is being done for the protection of the rights of persons with disabilities and how people live and try to realize their potential. The communication team constantly voiced the issues in the sector, but besides problems, they presented success stories too. We invited persons with disabilities to speak about the difficulties they faced in our society and the state. Aregag, educational and development web-based app, was created within the framework of the project too. Within a few months, the working group managed to get it approved by the Ministry of Education, Science, Culture and Sport and sent to schools as an educational resource. The target group of the app consists of persons with challenges in reading and writing, but it is no secret that what is easy to use by persons with disabilities is also easy to use by everyone else. The users are able to answer questions guided by sounds and pictures. They may make mistakes or answer the questions correctly, and thus move on to the next question, get informed and educated. Towards Inclusive Armenia project was made possible with the financial support of the European Union. As project manager, I would like to express my special thanks to the EU, not only for the financial support throughout the implementation of Towards Inclusive Armenia project by the coalition, but for the love and support from the entire EU delegation in the person of Ambassador Andrea Victorin to the coalition. I feel sad for the first time, but I am also very proud and happy with what we have achieved. As Gayana mentioned, the whole delegation of the European Union has been very supportive in its approach indeed, and I can assure you that this will sustain. Stay assured that this issue is an important point on our agenda. Although the project is drawing to its end, the Coalition for Inclusive Legal Reforms, represented by Agatha NGO, promises that the fight will not stop, and by combining all efforts, they will make Armenia more inclusive and accessible.